Many blessings, friends, and hello. Hey, Louise, just jumped on. Today is a special day. One, it's cloudy outside, and it hasn't been cloudy in Stockholm for a week. And I'm actually feeling very inspired today. Not necessarily with words that I know I'm going to express, but with the energies that have been stirring around in my life the last few days, and sharing those thoughts, whatever they may be, whatever comes up. Yesterday, Miguel and I were brainstorming at the beach, laying on a rock and watching the lake move and planning our life and getting our ideas together. And we had just put down the ukulele and we were singing some high vibe song. We had three sisters behind us who we didn't know. And the sisters were playing music, and we had just got done playing this really beautiful song, and I didn't hear their music while we were playing, but once we finished, it was all I could hear, because I realized in the music it was all about women shaking their ass, and how much, how important that was, and how these guys wanted that. It's hard for me to even express because I don't live in this world anymore, but it really brought me back to a time and a place in my life where I was doing sexual education, and I was holding space for about 20 women at a time, 3 or 4 times a week. And I was teaching them about their bodies. I was helping them fall in love with themselves. And when I was in this world, I realized how rampant sexual objectification is, and how toxic and how pervasive it is in our culture. And being a woman, self-empowerment and self-excitement and really wanting to empower other women, sexual objectification has been such a serious blow to the divine feminine template. And throughout this time when I was educating women, it was really important to me to talk about sexual objectification, because we don't realize that we're being brainwashed or manipulated or fed sexual objectification on a constant basis in our culture. And listening to this music yesterday in such a heart space after singing with Miguel over the ukulele and just like really, really feeling good, brought me down to this really low frequency of needing to prove myself based on how well I could shake my ass. And turned around and looked at our sisters, and I say our sisters, we didn't know them, but turned around, looked at the sisters, and I was just like, wow, this is the world that they live in. This is the world that many women live in. Being objectified constantly on a daily basis through media, through social interactions, through advertisements, through television, through learning how to love yourself by constantly monitoring the status quo of your body, constantly being in comparison with your other sisters around you based on whose ass is bigger or whose makeup looks better today. The other day, Miguel and I went and we had falafels, and there was a woman there. I'm not sure where she was from, but every single part of her was fake. Her eyelashes were fake, her hair was fake, her lips were fake, her cheeks were fake, her skin was artificially tanned, her clothes were fake, her attitude was fake, her everything was fake. And this is because of sexual objectification, because women from such a young age are learning how to love themselves based on how people view them and how people see them and how fuckable they are. How fuckable are you? That is one of the lowest frequencies, but one of the most common frequencies of self-sabotage that we put onto ourselves because we've been taught to do so. And not only have we been taught as women to do so, but really it comes from, well, it comes from media, but it comes from men, the shadow masculine, needing something to objectify. I was reading this article, and it was talking about how advertisements put you in the seat of sexually objectifying a woman. When the woman is sexually objectifying herself, self-objectification, and then the man is objectifying her. And it's sexual objectification. It goes beyond what a woman is, the total the total like unity of who she is, all aspects of her. No aspect of her is considered except for the physical, and not even all of the physical, only the parts of her in which you can sexualize. So her ass, her breasts, her shoulders, her waist, her ankles, high heels. And so from such a young age, we are taught to objectify ourselves. And it's wild that we don't see it and that we actually take it on and choose to do it. There are people out there, probably if we did a survey, that would be like, sexual objectification is okay, I like it. But it's not true. And it causes a lot of mental instability in women to be constantly monitoring yourself all of the time to someone else's standards is not self-love. Self-love cannot be experienced outside of you. I was reading this sister's post today, and this was part of what got me stirred up, and she was talking about her cellulite. The reason you don't like your cellulite is because it makes you unfuckable. And if you are constantly have this reel inside of your mind of what this and that looks like and what it does or does not make you, then you are doing the job of what media outlets and advertisements and social media has planted seeds long, long, long ago, that your friends, that your boyfriends, the shitheads that you've dated in your life have planted. And really opening up to this awareness is so important, not only for ourselves, so that we can fall in love with the imperfections of ourselves, but so that the world can fall in love with you, so that the world can fall back in love with the divine feminine. It's so important for us to rise up right now and for us to love ourselves unconditionally and not, okay, I'm just going to deal with my cellulite, or I'm just going to deal with the fact that I'm not beautiful, or I'm going to just deal with all of these things, but to really go inside and find self-love, to create self-love, because self-love is not something that you eventually someday fall in love with on the outside of you. If you don't love yourself now, if you don't love your body now, there's a high chance that you will never love your body, that you will never see yourself in the light of your true divinity, of who you really are. And it's extremely important for us to see these toxic streams of light that are hindering us from really seeing who we truly are. I noticed my own sexual objectification, my own self-objectification, maybe 10 years ago. I noticed that I was always looking in the mirror. I passed a mirror, it was like, oh, making sure that the world was going to see me the way I wanted to be seen, the way I thought I wanted to be seen. And it was like, wow, why do I keep looking in the mirror? And I'm very self-observant. I'm constantly in a state of being present with myself and observing myself. And so it's just always kind of like, why do I keep looking at myself in the mirror? What is that? And a little bit of diving deep helped me realize that I learned how to sexually objectify myself at a very young age. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I learned. I started wearing makeup. Started shaving my legs so that boys didn't think I was gross. Started wearing eyeliner so that my eyes popped, and mascara so that, I had those sultry, sexy, fuckable eyes. And I say the word fuckable because of how intensely it makes me feel. A lot of times when I catch myself in this act of self-objectifying, it's easy for me to, unfuck myself, like, oh gosh, okay, I'm putting myself back into that loop. But then I come into a crowd of women or into my group of sisters and they're objectifying me. Why aren't your armpits shaved? What are you wearing that for? Oh, let me fix you. Here, put this on. That's not sexy. So we've really, as a culture, done this to each other. And it's just so important for us to realize our constant exposure to sexual objectification and to remove ourselves from it. You know, part of being pregnant and becoming a mother for the first time is like, wow, what don't I want my daughter to be exposed to? What lessons have I learned in this lifetime that I can share before she has to experience it? I don't want my little one to grow up in a culture that's always monitoring her, that teaches her a dialogue at such a young age that she starts asking herself the questions that they ask the models, that we have the templates and the seeds that have been planted, the programs that have been running for such a long time. She teaches how to run them on herself. This is why women have such a hard time with eating disorders, with loving themselves, with true love, with finding a man that is good to you. When I stopped objectifying myself, by far I didn't stop getting objectified by the world, but by far my body shaming decreased, my anxiety decreased, my depression decreased, my trauma, my sense of being desensitized. When I went to the Philippines with the military, you know, they have these ping pong shows where they're advertising it on the streets, literally handing out fucking flyers for women who you can come and see shoot darts out of their pussies so hard that they're exploding balloons full of paint. How entertaining. How exciting. Ooh, what a show. I never went to one of those shows. I refused. And up until I was about 23, 24, almost out of the military, did I even go to a strip club. Because I refused to support a society I refuse to support a society that is constantly looking and evaluating and objectifying women. And on top of that, teaching them how to constantly evaluate, objectify, and evaluate themselves. Do you know how many times I've been stabbed in the back by a sister just because I was beautiful? How many times I've walked into a room and gotten a few noses? Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, I don't want to be a friend. She must be a bitch. There's so many things wrong with sexual objectification that we don't see because we choose not to see. So many programs running. So many ways of expressing ourselves that are not authentic and that are not true to who your inner soul wants you to be. And this is where self-love really starts. I want to cry right now. Because while all my sisters are out there trying to figure out how to love their bodies more, they constantly continuing to sexually objectify themselves, to allow men to sexually objectify them, and wondering why they hate themselves, why they're throwing up all their food, why they hate their legs, why do I hate my arms, look at all this flab, constantly in this victim mode that they're perpetuating on themselves. I know my camera's a little shaky, but this is just where we are for now. The world is fucking shaky. And it's really time for us to wake up. And not only is it time for our sisters to wake up, but it's time for our men to wake up. And you know, like I've said in multiple videos, I'm surrounded by magnificent men. And that is a direct reflection of my ability to love myself. If you are surrounded by shitheads, if you're surrounded or in a relationship with a man who's constantly making you fuckable, who's constantly sexually objectifying you, wake up. Because the feminine spirit has way more power in this reality than we give ourselves credit for. And this is from the beginning of time. The lineage of women that we've come from have been experiencing the oppression of the divine feminine. And now is the time. We live in a time now where we can wake up. We don't have to be suppressed anymore. If you're suppressed right now, you have to take responsibility for how you got yourself there. Take responsibility of the lineage that you come from, the lessons, the things that you're purifying in this lifetime from your family, from the women that you come from. The women that I come from have been beaten, raped, and objectified for a very long time. And the only way that that is going to stop and not be passed down to my child is if I choose to take responsibility for those energies, clear them, transmute them. I have to take responsibility. I can't wait for advertisements to change. I have to stop looking at the advertisements. I can't wait for TV to change. I have to stop watching the fucking Kardashians. I cannot wait for the external world to change. I have to change my internal world in order to not be in alignment anymore with sexual objectification. Now, this does not mean just because you get into alignment with self-love and not objectifying yourself that you're not going to experience it. When I was in Costa Rica with Miguel, we went and had dinner or lunch somewhere to get on the Wi-Fi. And Miguel and I are a very beautiful couple. When we're together, we're radiating. You know, we're in such a frequency just based on our physical vibrance, our energetic, just, you know, people are just like, oh my God, wow. When Miguel walks away from me at this restaurant, I walk outside, okay? This bus passes me. And outside of this bus are 3 heads, 3 men, all hanging outside of the bus. One with his fingers on his mouth, licking my hypothetical vagina. One of them grabbing his chin like this, like, yeah, I'd tap that. I could literally hear his thoughts. Ooh, yeah, I'd pick you up, girl. And then the last one was tongue outside of his mouth. So 2 dogs and a predator. Now, I don't know these people. Obviously, a bus just passes me and I'm objectified by 3 men within seconds who would not have done that if Miguel was standing by my side. And I've been working on not objectifying myself for a long time. So just because you work on this does not mean you are not going to be objectified. This is the world we live in. I was extremely reactive. I started crying. I went back inside. I felt unsafe. I felt unsure. I didn't know what to do. It made me feel like I can't be alone. I cannot trust the world with me, with myself. I cannot be out in the world on my own, or I am meat. The predators will get me. When I was in the military, I was surrounded by 3,000 to 6,000 men at one time on a ship out in the middle of the ocean, a giant bubble of people, beautiful, shining, kind, loving, compassionate, open. Did anyone see that? No. They saw this beautiful, juicy Thanksgiving turkey walking across the hangar deck that needed to be eaten. She's got it coming. I was never safe. And since a very young age, this feeling of never being safe has plagued me. When I was a little girl, I was terrified of Mexicans. The traditional Mexican, which I learned is not every Mexican. When I was a little girl, if you were a dark-skinned man with black hair, I would start crying and screaming immediately. Probably some past life trauma or some experience on TV that I saw. But the truth is that we all have these experiences from the very beginning of our life. We are being impressioned. We are being shown how the world will treat us. We are being shown how to treat ourselves. And unfortunately, our unconscious parents do not have the capacity or the ability to hinder or keep these energies back or hidden. It's unfortunate, and it's sad, and it's scary to live in this world. Just last week or a couple of weeks ago, I'm still traumatized by my metro experience of being eye-raped 10 times in the metro, being literally followed home by some man who didn't speak English and who would not take my no for an answer, pregnant as could possibly be, and feeling so unsafe. Feeling this predator energy always around. And us in the high vibe community, we can say all day, well, you need to change your frequency, but it's just not that easy. Because when you're a divine template, you're transmuting a lot of energy. And what I mean by divine template is when you are in harmony and when you are in energetic alignment with your highest expression, 8 times out of 10, you are experiencing that highest expression, that highest experience. And then 2 times out of 10, you are collectively purifying shit for other people. And maybe 10 times out of 10. But there are often times when I'm experiencing something that I have purified and plucked out of my consciousness, plucked out of my life a long time ago. Or learning lessons of not being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But this is something that I always have to think about, or I accidentally get myself in a very scary situation. All because I'm beautiful. All because I'm objectified. All because I fit the bill. Because I have a vagina. Because I smiled at someone and now I'm being raped. Because someone preyed upon me and chose to steal my power away. Listening to these girls' music yesterday, it triggered me back to a time when I used to listen to that music. A time where I was bumping Drake on the radio, where I was listening to Snoop Dogg, where I was listening to these songs in which I came from. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. I grew up with R&B and rap, country, and Christian music. And across the board, excluding Christian music, we're objectifying women on a serious level. And this would be why I create my own music now. I don't listen to songs on the radio. I don't watch TV. I don't often invest my time into Netflix or video series, because throughout these series, you're being constantly projected upon energies of thought and thinking. And you'll know it based on when you go to bed at night and you dream about the people you're watching on TV, because that reality has become your reality. Their words have become your words. That partner that you're dating. I dated a guy, you guys. I went out and bought a new outfit every weekend to see him. So that I would be what? Sexy, attractive, fly, and in alignment with his serious sexual objectification. Sexual objectification is so dangerous that it had me one night on a bed with a gun in my mouth about to blow my brains out because someone didn't love me enough, because someone didn't choose to stay home with me, chose to go out with his friends. Sexual objectification will put you in a place of hating yourself so much that you want to take your own life, that you sabotage yourself at every chance you get, that you date men who abuse you and traumatize you so that you can feel accepted in some way. My friends, we don't have to stay in this place. And if there's one thing that I will do my best as a mother, it will be to teach my daughter how to love herself, how to not find herself in the eyes of others, how to find her self-worth through her breath, through her connection to divine spirit that she is, how to not even need to love her imperfections, how to not even be able to see any imperfections. Sisters, we gotta fix this. And it's an internal responsibility. It is not the world's job to stop being fucked up. It is our job, our responsibility to stop energizing or putting energy into ideas and truths that aren't ours, how to find our own, how to go inside and cultivate a practice that develops self-worth, to cultivate a practice that develops self-love. Self-love is not determined by how much you love your physical body. Self-love is determined by the inner work you've been doing. Because when you start doing your inner work, all the drama, all the stories, all the imprints, all the imperfections start to fall away, and you get to fall in love with you. Your inner reality starts to change. Your external reality starts to change. Oh, ooh, ooh. Oh God, baby's kicking. Ah, ooh, okay. Oh shit. Ah, oh. Oh goodness. Oh, Namo Shivaya. Calm down. Oh wow. All right. I guess I got too excited. Uh, Sometimes the energy moving around within my womb is just so beyond you guys. It is not of this world. Wow. Gotta take a second to come back from that. One of the most important things that we can do as beings is realize that we are not man and woman. I am externally a woman, but internally I am far beyond that, far beyond those templates, far beyond those stories. If we can start to see that we are both, I am the masculine and I am the feminine. I am unity consciousness. I am the collective consciousness. I am the sum of every being on this planet right now at this time. I am you looking at me right now. If we can realize that we are not these tiny little versions of ourselves in this reality, we can reclaim our power. We can understand why the divine masculine has a shadow, because we all have shadows. We can understand these shadows and take responsibility for them and try to enhance the other side. And what I mean by this is, on my Instagram, I don't post sexy pictures. I have a lot of sisters and a lot of friends posting naked pictures, and some of it's just to be free, but a lot of it is to be seen. A lot of times we're posting pictures of this angle and you see my sexy leg and you see my sexy neck and, oh, look at this new necklace I bought. Oh, yeah, how sexy am I? Okay, we have to stop doing that to ourselves because it enables our brothers to look at us like that. Okay, we can't blame the collective consciousness of men and then sit over here and do all of the things that make them think that way. We have to learn how to be unity consciousness within ourselves, how to take responsibility for the shadow masculine that is mine, because I am all sides. I am unity consciousness. I am tapped into it all. So I can choose to not fuel that reality anymore. I can choose to go inside and love myself to such a point that I will not allow anyone else into my sphere who doesn't love me the same. I have to teach you how to love me by showing you how I love myself. And loving yourself isn't always going to start with your emotions or the way you feel about yourself. It can start through physical action. It starts by writing a list of all the ways you objectify yourself. How do I make myself fuckable? How has the world taught me to make myself fuckable, to make myself desired, to make myself wanted? We have to see how we create this energy in our own life so that when we see it externally, we can say, no, I will not settle for that reality, and turn our eyes to the reality we want to create. But in order for us to create a different reality, we have to realize the reality we're creating that we don't want. We are enabling this behavior. We are enabling this energy. And if you're a conscious brother out there watching this video right now, or a brother in general, we all have to do this work. The man, just like the woman, has to realize that he is also the divine feminine. You are the feminine and you are the masculine. And if we can see that we are two parts of a whole, we can stop taking advantage of each other. We can stop manipulating each other and objectifying each other and treating each other like shit, separating ourselves from one another. We have to see the truth. We have to choose to be higher level versions of ourselves. I was watching this video the other day and it was talking about the divine masculine. No, I'm sorry. That was a different video. Watching the third dimension, fourth dimension, and fifth dimension. You know, a lot of people who are playing in the realms of unity consciousness and who are spiritual and diving into these realms are discovering that there are many different frequencies on this planet. And that is how you attract. That is how you repel. You are living in a certain frequency, and these frequencies, right, in a linear fashion would look like the third dimension, the fourth dimension, and the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension being unity consciousness and love and peace. Pure love, pure peace, unity consciousness. And the third dimension being duality. The duality of yes and no, black and white, love and hate. In the third dimension is where is where sexual objectification lives. And when I tell you guys that I've been working on my spirituality, I've been working on my self-love, I've been working on raising the frequency of my experience of my body, of my energy, so that I can be in these higher experiences of the fourth and fifth dimension, which are not one on top of each other. It's not like the atmosphere. It's a multi-dimensional experience of energy. And as humans experiencing this 3D reality, we can choose to live from a 5D perspective, a fifth dimensional or quantum perspective. And when we live from the fifth dimensional or quantum perspective, it doesn't mean that we don't dip in and out of side personalities, of the many different versions of ourselves. It doesn't mean that we don't experience the third dimension. It just means we bounce back way faster and we know why we're here. Self-love is a constant state of being for someone who lives in the fifth dimension. Someone who lives in the fifth dimension or in the heart space is constantly projecting love and presence onto other people. They realize that life goes beyond this physical reality. They realize that this is probably one of many lifetimes that they've lived on this planet. They realize that we are not here to live minuscule lives and death is an inevitable part of our reality. No, that is 3D way of living and a 3D way of thinking. A 5D way of living, a 5D way of thinking is everlasting life. Is putting 5D frequency foods into your body. You want to be a 3D human? You want to live in a world full of duality? Eat meat. When you consume a piece of meat, you are consuming the carcass, number one, of a dead animal. You are consuming death, literally death. And not only are you consuming death, but you are consuming the entire energetic frequency of that being. Okay, imagine if someone was eating the flesh of a human. You would be consuming the entire collective consciousness of humans. That is the frequency of what you're eating. If you go and you eat a pig, you are eating the collective consciousness of all pigs who have ever lived on this planet in the journey of a pig and or a cow. All of the farming and the disgusting way that we're treating animals these days, and just beyond. Can you imagine the suffering of what cows and pigs and chickens, who, by the way, are giving us eggs every single day, but they're being manipulated and treated like shit. So you can be a vegetarian and eat an egg, but you're eating the energetic frequency of that egg. If you go to a farm and there's a family and they have a cow and they've had this cow for, I don't know how long cows live, but 7 years, 10 years, and this cow dies. And when the cow dies, the family harvests the meat. They harvest the skin or the hide of the cow, and they make things out of the hide of the cow, and they eat the meat from the cow, and they drank the milk from this cow for years and years and years. The frequency of that cow is much different. That is a much different frequency than factory farming a cow, where they're literally punching a cow in the asshole for fun. Injecting cows, artificially inseminating cows with sperm so they can continue being pregnant when they just are still giving milk from their last pregnancy. Cows that are giving birth to males, and the males are then shipped away at a really young age to grow and be meat cows or whatever, and then the female cows are kept. It's like there's so much division and separation and duality on this planet, and whatever frequency you choose to be a part of, whatever you eat is what you are. And that's such a cliche, right? Well, you are what you eat. Really tap into that. And this isn't the like, man, the baby's going crazy right now. Please forgive me if I'm like being too intense, my love. Thank you. We are the energetic currency of everything that we choose to be in this lifetime. We are exchanging energy with every action, with every thought, with every emotion, with every TV show, with everything we eat, with everything we see, with everything we consume. Through my eyes, through my ears, through my speech, through speaking to friends. You are the sum of what you eat. You are the sum of the top 10 people you hang out with. You are the sum of all the TV shows you're currently addicted to right now. It's like we have to choose to rise up out of this. We have to choose to live in a different frequency of being. We have to choose to be our most authentic versions of ourselves and learn how to cultivate practices and how to take action that gives life force energy to us, not takes it away. Every time you unconsciously eat a piece of meat, you are taking years off of your life. And go ahead if life's not worth it to you. Who cares? There are plenty of humans on the planet that seriously should probably not be living that long. And I can say that with confidence, and it's probably going to hurt somebody's feelings. But the truth is if you're going to choose to live in the 3D consciousness of duality, you're going to choose to invest all your time and energy into war, into famine, into these TV shows that are empty and that manipulate the masses into being dumbed down versions of themselves. We don't need you. We don't want that. The collective is rising. We are awakening. We are rising up. And we want people who want to be a part of that, who came to this planet to create change. That is who I'm talking to right now. Talking to all my brothers and sisters who have been teeter-tottering, wanting to love themselves more. Do you want to love yourself more? Become more conscious of all of the energetic imprints that you are consuming through your 5 senses. Start doing a morning practice. Start honoring yourself for all the work, all the trauma, all of the shit you've been through in this lifetime. Give yourself credit for that. Have some self-respect. Honor the path you have been on, the stories you've been given, the programs that have been uploaded into your matrix. If you come from a family who gave you all this crap, give yourself credit for even noticing that they gave you crap and not becoming a part of their crap. These predators out here, and not necessarily the ones who've just been like brainwashed into sexually objectifying women all of the time, but I mean the man who followed me home in the metro, and the men who are sitting in medicine ceremonies with my sisters and raping them, who are sitting next to someone and calling them your friend, and then as soon as their protection walks away, you take advantage of them. These are the men that need the love the most. These are the brothers who lost it a long time ago, who lost touch with their own relationship to the divine feminine. If you think that you are just a man, you are wrong. If you are manipulating and taking advantage of the beautiful divine feminine energy, or even the shadow energy of the feminine, it's hard for me to even say shadow for the divine feminine because I live so strongly in the divine feminine. But if you are one of those men, you've got some work to do. And if you are one of my conscious brothers, you've got some work to do too, because you have got instant access to brothers whose consciousness needs to be elevated. And a lot of what I'm saying right now, so many beings, so many people have never even heard of. The shit would just fly right over their head. They don't get it. They can't understand. They can't even see me. They can't hear me. They'll never see this video. They'll never be in energetic alignment with peace and unity consciousness because they don't want it. They don't know they want it. They don't know that this is their truth, that this is the divine expression of what they've always wanted. Someone who takes the power from another being just wants to be loved. And they haven't been loved in their lifetime, and they've learned to take the power from someone else to feel this energy. But this is a cheap pack of cigarettes compared to what the true, authentic version of you could truly harness if you learned how to be in balance, if you learned how to forgive your past, how to forgive all the traumas you've been through, how to forgive your mother and your father, how to forgive yourself for not protecting yourself, how to forgive your friends, how to forgive all the stories, how to start a new paradigm in your own life. We are love. We are never cut off from source energy, my friends, my brothers, my sister, my tribe. We are never cut off from the everlasting energy of the cosmos, of God. We are unity consciousness. We are always being fed with the love and the light. But if you choose to cover up your eyes, if you choose to be constantly consuming things that lower and dumb your frequency down, you will never experience it. You can't see it. You can't feel it. You can't embrace it. You can't create it. So if you are watching this video right now and you want to love yourself more, fucking get rid of your mirrors. Get rid of that turd of a partner who told you you need to get breast implants. Get rid of that turd of a partner who left you at the bar to go hang out with his friends. Get rid of the bar scene. Get rid of alcohol. Get rid of the things that create that make you self-sabotage. I don't know how to say it, but get rid of sabotaging yourself. Learn and see the ways that you treat yourself. I sabotage myself by knowing I shouldn't eat something, and then I instead go and eat the entire package. Cookies. I fucking love cookies, and I love sweets, and I love chocolate. We self-sabotage, we self-objectify, we just do all kinds of things to ourselves that really, really, really fuck us up. It's time to jump, to see that, and to move your awareness over to self-love, to self-appreciation, to self-encouragement, to self-responsibility. It's time. And although this has happened for me a very long time ago, this shift of awareness of not objectifying myself, it still is a part of my reality. I still look through my Instagram feed and see all these beautiful women with their beautiful bodies being so sexy. So sexy. I want to be sexy. I want to show the world how sexy I am. Oh, look at this picture. No, I shouldn't post that. No, I shouldn't post that because that's teaching someone to objectify me. It's all about self-knowledge. It's all about taking responsibility and seeing your programs, seeing the way in which you treat yourself based on how someone else taught you to treat yourself. Now, friends, I could seriously go on about this on and on and on and on because it's such a deep wound in our culture. And by deep wound, I mean this shadow monger, monster, disgusting piece of shit that's hiding in the shadows and consuming our energy. Every single time we unconsciously choose to be objectified and to sexually objectify ourselves. This entity is bigger than any of us can imagine, and it's time for us to take responsibility for our part in it. It's time for us to take responsibility, to take our power back. And you don't have to take your power back. You have to regenerate it from within. And you regenerate your power by honoring yourself, by honoring this beautiful human body that you've been given in this lifetime to create whatever you want. This world is yours because from your perspective, that is the only perspective. The only one who needs to love you is you. So why spend so much time trying to get other people to love you? It's a cycle that will never end. You need to get on the right cycle of self-love and self-appreciation and taking back, regenerating your own power. Now, I've been kicked more times in this video than I can, it's fucking intense over here right now. But what am I supposed to do, huh? Am I supposed to sit back on the sidelines when I'm feeling inspired, when I'm feeling excited about the new times, about the new woman, about the divine feminine template that's being reactivated on this planet, this new world that I'm about to birth in 60 days? This child, be it a girl or a boy, will grow up in a world of self-love, self-appreciation, of taking responsibility, of self-awareness. If it's a boy, I will teach him how to love himself unconditionally. If it's a girl, I will teach her how to love herself unconditionally. And this is the true medicine to sexual objectification, because when you love yourself, you have a really hard time doing anything that doesn't make you feel top-notch, that doesn't help you shine brightly out of the core of who you are. Now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to meditate for a few moments because I've gone and spun myself up, lots of excitement and passion. Feel very connected to this topic. I feel very connected to inspiring women. And it's no secret. If you're my friend, you know it. If you're watching this video, you know it. If you're my child within my womb right now, you know it. And we have a mission. 1,000 years of peace is here. And sexual objectification and all the shit that comes along with it does not fit inside 1,000 years of peace. So if you're a light warrior, if you're going to stand for something new on this planet, if you're going to create the new world template in your life, if you're going to harness the energies of your higher self, you have got to see where you have been contaminated. Open up your eyes. Open up your eyes and choose to be still, choose to be present, choose to cultivate a life of self-awareness, choose to activate and download new templates into your psyche of self-empowerment, of self-realization, because these are the medicines to the crazy world that we live in today. And 1,000 years of peace isn't going to just show up someday. We literally have to create it from the inside out. And there are many beings in the world doing this right now that you can tap into. You don't have to put up with any more shitty frequencies. You can change your reality right now. Join me. Join me in the light. Join me in the light of self-love. Join me in the light of speaking your truth from the top of Mount Shasta so loudly that the whole world hears you. Join me in being a lighthouse for all of the brothers and sisters surrounding you, your circle of influence. Join me. Join us. Because together we're going to change the world. And there's no doubt about it. Because the world is already changed. The 3D frequencies of this planet are just catching up with what the 5D has already created. Clearing the energies of these frequencies that we've been talking about and stirring up today within myself, within humanity, within unity consciousness. Taking a breath, and exhaling all tension from my body. Namo Shivaya. If you're on right now, please send some love. You guys got to start stopping by and leaving some love. I can see that you came on. You're all my favorite people. Stop by, say hello, comment on the video. 52 minutes, I'm not even upset about it. You know, it's like people do Facebook Lives. They're like, oh, I got to be fast so that people can focus. I don't care if you watch this video. Joke's on you. Because if you do watch the video, you're going to get a lot from it. And if you don't watch the video, well, someday you'll wish you had. So I'm going to take a few moments of silence, stillness. If you jump on, join me and do some nostril breathing. Just to connecting into the collective consciousness. Of love and light. Surrounding the world with love, activating the grid of consciousness with peace, calling in my guides and all of my ancestors, calling in the angels and giving thanks for all of my protection. Thank you, Great Spirit, for keeping me grounded. Thank you for keeping me clear. Thank you for helping me be articulate. Thank you for helping me see my true self-worth. Thank you for helping me see the unity within me, within my heart, within my body. Thank you for the divine expression of my many beautiful, beautiful, deep, and true talents and stories. Thank you for helping me see my truth. Thank you for helping me see my divine potential. Thank you for helping me activate or reactivate the divine template of truth within my brothers and sisters, my tribe. Thank you for giving me the courage and the confidence to shine my brightest in this lifetime. Thank you for all that is to come. Thank you for all that has come and happened. Thank you for the time, space of reality of past, present, and the future. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the expansion of Mother Earth. Thank you for the immediate awakening of all beings who feel these frequencies. Great Spirit, help me to see where I sexually objectify myself. Help me to witness, forgive, and see where sexual objectification is happening in my life that I, until this point, have not seen. Great Spirit, help me to forgive the template on this planet that objectifies women, that objectifies men, that objectifies all beings. Help me to forgive this state of being and consciousness. I transmute all anger, all depression, all anxiety, all tension to you, Great Spirit. Please help me to see how this is all part of the grand scheme, how this is all part of our evolution as beings on this planet. And in a dualistic world, how we couldn't live without the other. If we want good in this 3D world, we have to experience the bad. Help us to cope with that. Help us to create lives of self-love and self-appreciation, self-awareness. Help us to identify and love the special parts of our ego instead of constantly acting like we're in war with it. Thank you to my ego that keeps me safe. Thank you to my higher self who keeps my ego anchored. Thank you to my higher self, my guides, the angels surrounding me at all times. Thank you. Thank you for caring for my spirit and soul. May many blessings rain down upon all beings. May the earth shed her skin like a snake, easily rebirthing, setting fire to a world that doesn't make sense, giving birth to a world of unity, of peace, of joy, of love, of equality. Thank you for our healing. Balancing the hemispheres of my brain, the left and right side, balancing the hemispheres of the earth, balancing the hemispheres of all that exists.